Hello, my name is Zealand. I have a secret. I don't care. I don't care. I've never cared. I probably will never care. And I still, in my next life, if reincarnation is real and I come back as a sea cucumber for all those times that I accidentally threw something at the trash can and missed and littered, but not on purpose, well, then I still won't care about friendlies in random countries before a season starts. I can't possibly be bothered. I really can't. I think the only reason you would ever want to go watch one of those matches is to see a certain particular player. I myself have been to something called the MLS All-Star Game, that super American concept that Todd Bowley recommended bringing to the Premier League after he was really excited about the 4-4-3. Well, it happens in MLS, and MLS All-Stars play against like a big European team, but even that is more fun because it's more self-aware as a celebration. You know, you're also like mid-season and there's some extra spice to it, but I don't care about friendlies. Even in a game called Football Manager, which I play obsessively, I don't manage the friendlies. I give them to my assistant manager, and I sit on my couch, not at the match, playing matches that matter on Football Manager. In like it's a perpetual universe. Like myself in the game is playing Football Manager, and then the next person's playing Football Manager. And so you see, by the time we get to the 27th version of me playing Football Manager on a couch, not managing the friendly, we break the space-time continuum. I'm not sure that's how science worked. I don't know. I fell asleep in high school. But there is a kerfuffle going on, and it revolves around a match in Hong Kong played by Inter Miami, which 5 years ago, and this is true, did not exist. Wasn't a thing. Well, I mean, it did exist. I actually made a whole video about it on the other channel where they were trying to found the club for a decade, and David Beckham's free kicks were better than his business acumen, at least in terms of getting the team founded, but he did figure it out eventually, and the team was all set up, and then they got Lionel Messi, and everything was great, right? Well, it was, except for the fact that they weren't a particularly good team last year. They've got Luis Suarez, who after this season I'm pretty sure won't be illegally allowed to walk in 47 states because his knees are so bad. They have Sergio Biscuits, as Speed would say. But they are also on tour, because when you have Lionel Messi and you have now Suarez and Biscuits and like a bunch of other dudes that just fill out a normal MLS team that are playing with these guys, you go on giant tours to make the entire league money. So they have been traipsing around all over Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come specifically being the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, because that's who has the money right now. And they went over after playing against El Salvador. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. They played a friendly against El Salvador on January 19th. Then they played FC Dallas and lost, which I didn't know until just now that they lost that match. The only reason I saw it is because they posted a picture of a half-empty stadium, and they went, "Is this a bad thing?" And I went, nobody cares. It's a friendly against FC Dallas in January, outside. Even in Texas, it sucks, man. It gets cold there sometimes, especially in Dallas. I lived there for a few months. It's cold. I grew up in Florida. If it's below 70 Fahrenheit, I don't go outside. So I got so into video games in the first place. You don't end up with neon lights like this if you touch grass. But then they went to Saudi Arabia. They lost Al Hilal 4-3. If you spend any time on the internet at all, you probably know that they lost to Al Nassr 6-0. What you don't know is that Lionel Messi did play in that game. He played a few minutes. He came in at the end of it. And the issue was that he was suffering with a bit of an injury. Obviously, Ronaldo was as well, so he didn't play either. So he didn't get the final showdown, which is just... Why? It's not. It's not the final showdown. The final showdown happened years ago. This isn't real. This is not real. This is like getting married on Sims and then trying to convince your family that you're married. It's that movie with Ryan Gosling who's dating a blow-up doll. That's what this is, except The Last Dance. Like, this is nothing. And you know how much nothing it is? Ronaldo would run through the brick wall. He would run through multiple brick walls. He would endanger himself and his family for the opportunity to play Lionel Messi in one more match that mattered. And he sat this one out because it doesn't matter, right? We know how much this matters, particularly to Ronaldo. That man would have had a leg replacement if he could play one more competitive match against Messi. But I'm sure he took the joy from winning 6-0. That's not the most important point, because the most important point is the match that happened after that in Hong Kong. Now, in Hong Kong, they set up, I got to make sure I get this right, something called the Tatler X Fest Hong Kong. Now, that sounds like something that what's his name? Billy McFarland. That sounds like something Billy McFarland came up with to squeeze some more money out of some unsuspecting people that don't know he was already in charge of Fire Festival and fresh out of prison. But it wasn't. This was something like a one-day entertainment extravaganza that ended with Hong Kong and essentially an all-star team of Hong Kong playing against Messi and Inter Miami. What the people going to the match didn't know is that according to I did some investigating. I'm a brilliant investigator. According to Tata Martino, who, yes, that's the former Mexico coach who's now coaching Inter Miami, he said that Messi went through some tests with the Inter Miami medical staff, and they decided that Lionel Messi was not going to play in that game. Now, that's unfortunate if you just spent $400 on a ticket to watch Messi play in Hong Kong. And that is something that people that attended the match, believe it or not, they noticed that Messi wasn't playing. But I'm going to go a different direction with this. So the match starts. Obviously, the people are upset. And as the game goes on, the crowd gets more and more restless. And they start to boo. They start to hiss. There's this video of a kid just kicking Messi's face out of they were getting very angry. A lot of animosity. David Beckham, who, look, I love David Beckham. I think he's very transparent in his self-interest. He was a tremendous player, but sometimes his media training is a little overwhelming, right? In the face of a chorus of boos, of a crowd chanting refund, of a bunch of people in Hong Kong who've had a really hard time recently that just wanted to watch Lionel Messi play, just booing and hissing because that morning some physio getting paid $50,000 a year by Inter Miami said that Lionel Messi's hamstring was a little too tight. And he steps out at the end of it. I have to find the quote. It's somewhere in here. And Beckham was drowned out by booing as he tried to thank the crowd for their incredible support while fans signaled their anger with thumbs down gestures. First of all, they're lucky he was in Hong Kong, dude. If I was in other countries, there would have been some more vulgar gestures going on. So shout out to them for keeping it thumbs down. So they booed, they hissed, they demanded a refund. Well, they demanded a refund via chant in the stadium. But I am actually closer to this situation than you might think. Not geographically. I'm nowhere near Hong Kong. Nice try, China. Just kidding. Actually been to China, and your Pizza Hut is fantastic. But I'm getting further and further away from the point, which is I had tickets to watch Lionel Messi play in Orlando City in a competitive match. But you have to understand, if you were getting yourself in this situation, if you're blowing $400 on the ticket, which I didn't. I have a genius father. The moment Messi got signed by Inter Miami, he said they're playing Orlando City at some point. You want to get tickets? I went, yes. And we got them before they were too expensive. They were not as cheap as a normal Orlando City ticket, which I'm pretty sure is a 6 pence and a barrel of wheat. But they were tickets to watch Messi play, and he got hurt like a week before, and he couldn't play because it's sports. I'm not paying to go watch Hamilton on Broadway. I'm paying to watch Lionel Messi run at a level that the 99% of us couldn't run for even 10 minutes, for 90 minutes, except I guess he doesn't run. He just walks around. But look, it's America. Half of us can't even walk that much. And he's one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player, in my opinion, the best player that's ever laced him up. And so you want to make sure that Rolls Royce is ready for actual competitive matches. So if you're buying tickets to a friendly, you got to be aware that this is a possibility. I understand the frustration. When I found out Messi was hurt and I wasn't going to be able to watch him in Orlando, that sucked. And I sold the tickets for a 6 pence and a barrel of wheat. And you know what? I had some sick bread for the next month, and I did whatever you do with a 6 pence. I sold it to the Smithsonian. But the situation these Hong Kong fans found themselves in sucks. But I feel like you have to be ready for this. Now, I know it's I'm sure whoever promoted it was billing it as like, Lionel Messi's coming to Hong Kong. Yeah, like anime jump. Whoa, Lionel Messi's coming to Hong Kong. Well, good news is because those people, they probably jacked up the tickets more than they should have and probably overhyped it, which is their right, but weren't able to guarantee that Lionel Messi was going to be on the field because, right, it's a sporting event, let alone a friendly, where this team was just in like Saudi Arabia like 4 days ago. That's not a short flight. Pull that up on Google Maps. Tell me how long that would take. Take it like a year to walk there. Thanks, Google Maps. But that company is going to get screwed because apparently the government of Hong Kong is said it could withdraw 16 million Hong Kong dollars. That's 2 million US dollars of funding to the organizers that helped bring Inter Miami to the city. Requoting, the organizer owes all football fans an explanation. Now, of course, the organizers responded and they said that they had extreme disappointment that neither Messi or Luis Suarez took the pitch. Just a little insult to injury, but that makes sense because Luis Suarez can't walk without a cane, it feels like. Despite some news reports, Tatler did not have any information about the non-participation of Messi or Suarez prior to kickoff. They probably should have been more proactive about promoting that it wasn't a certainty, considering he barely played in the Saudi Arabia leg of the trip, and there was a physio test that morning where you could have tweeted out, hey guys, Messi isn't going to play. We're going to do this instead and have a great time. So I think the organizers kind of flopped on this. I think the government of Hong Kong going after the organizers is kind of fun, but if I was the organizers and I lost $2 million because of Lionel Messi's hamstring, I'd try to buy him a new one for like maybe $1 million, save myself $1 million, but it's a friendly. And if you buy tickets to a sporting event, you should probably know that the star players aren't going to play and just be happy with your 6 and barrel of wheat. All right, subscribe to this channel if you haven't. If you have, I love you. Bye.